There's 5 of us, right? 2, 4, 5. Okay, great. All right. Well, let's get straight into it. I have to start with your assessments. How are you all going? Who's doing HE? HE, right? Development track is due in September the 3rd. 900 words. Done. Done. Not done. Sorry, Michaela, speak up.
Sorry, I'm halfway. I
Oh, you're halfway done. Good.
Yeah, I just need to finish it.
Oh, good. Lauren?
I'm meeting with a bunch of people Friday who are actually going to help me do this.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually incorporated my intention. So I've got the idea. It's just after the interview, I'll be able to collate everything and write it up, and hopefully we'll actually use it.
Brilliant. Okay. October 15th is your interview with your a senior leader. Have you sorted that out? That's due October 15th. I mean, it's still a while away, but it's 900 words as well. So make sure you're a part of that. And then your leadership portfolio is due in November 5th. Okay.
Which we can't see until we've done the feedback form.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I'm not giving them feedback until I've gotten a few weeks at least into the course.
Yeah.
Because what am I feeding you back?
That's right. That's true.
It's
a bit weird.
It's a terrible way to do it.
Yeah.
I actually think that it is. They are ransoming our assessments.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
That's what I feel like. We can't see it until we've done the feedback.
Right.
So I don't like. I'd like to know what it is, but I won't do that till a little bit later down the track.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
If I knew what it was, maybe I would start a bit sooner. And I don't think it's right. Very unchristian.
Have you written it up?
I
That
did.
is vegan feedback and then get access to the
No, but the feedback doesn't even touch on this sort of stuff, and I think it is very misguided.
Yeah. Well, definitely bring that up, because obviously Alpha Cruises, they've gotten better. When we first started with them, they were really hard to work with, and have definitely gotten better. And Donna, who's the principal here, is exceptional. She's brilliant. She's outside meeting up. But write a letter with kind, polite, representing Centre Point Church. Polite, you know, and then but still say, hey, listen, I just feel like this is really not the way to go. Fair enough. Be honest.
I think universities don't do that. That
Yes.
feedback is not. It's not mandatory, and they will send you an email every week about it.
Yeah. Vet students. Are you a vet student, Laura?
I am.
So you've got an interview with a potential leader, 500 words, due September 10th.
Yep.
You've got a development track, 700 words, October 22nd. Okay, and then you've got a strategic plan, 500 words, due on 12th of November. Any questions, concerns about your assessments as we get closer to it? Apart from that, which I think is valid. I definitely think you need to do something about it, Lauren. All right? Don't sit on it.
Nobody got time for that until now. I feel encouraged to do it.
Of course, because it's not just you, is it?
It's not everybody.
It's hundreds and hundreds of
Like we
people.
actually missed our. We ended up being late on the last one last semester because we didn't see it was there because there's an assessment. There's nothing to click on
Yeah,
until you've done it. Then it pops up.
that's
And
ridiculous.
so the fact that I've never studied with Alpha Cruises, I didn't know that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I just was like, I'm not doing that feedback form.
I think definitely need to address that. Okay, so in the time that we have, which is not very much, we are going to talk about intelligence. We're going to talk about the head of a leader. All right. So we've done a lot about the heart of the leader, right? We talked about the servant-heartedness, doing it for the glory of God, having a right heart, caring for people, being sacrificial, washing other people's feet. We talked about things like being a spirit-led leader. That's talking about heart. So today we're moving on to mind, or the mind of a leader, or the head of a leader, and we're talking about intelligence. All right. What is intelligence? Can someone give me an idea? Okay. What's wrong?
I turned to look and then Derek appeared.
He just appeared. Like Jesus, he just turned up.
Like an IQ.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, is it measurable?
It could be measurable, yeah, but it's an ability, isn't it? Intelligence, when we're talking about intelligence, we're talking about an ability to read a situation, right? Ability to gather information, ability to process, and ability to outwork. Isn't that true? So if you have, because there's many intelligences, and we're going to run through the different types of intelligences, all right? But there are many types. So it's all about being able to be in a room and see information, gather it, process it, and outwork it. So I share this story all the time. My wife has an ability to make our bed, and I have ability to make our bed. But there is an intelligence that Sharon has that when she makes a bed, sometimes I walk past and look at it and go, wow, like literally. And you go like, how does that even work? It looks like it's from a magazine. It looks like, when I do it with the same amount of things, it's done well, like not because I'm sloppy, but there's certain things that she does to it, whether it's the way she arranges the pillow or puffs them up or whatever, it looks like it's a picture in a magazine compared to a clean bed that has been made, right? And I can't do it. I've actually walked past and go, that looks amazing. And gone, how did you do it? Because I did it yesterday with the same things and it looks nothing like this. There's times that I will make the bed go out and I'll come back and I'll know Sharon has done, but I don't know what it is, right? And I'm not joking. Do you get what I'm talking about? There's certain things, there's just certain placements of things, because we've got quite a few cushions and, you know, and I'm just like, okay, put it all. Logically, I just take everything off, throw it on the side and then put it back. But when she does it, it just looks like a photo spread. I'm not joking, every time Sharon makes the bed, it looks like a photo spread. And she does it as quickly in the same amount of time. That is an intelligence. Would you believe it? Right? When we're talking about intelligence, for too long, we've talked about logical intelligence. We've talked about people who can add 50 numbers or multiply a math sum or you know, quote a chemical reaction. And we talk about logical intelligence, right? But you need to understand that intelligence is, every single one of us have a whole range of intelligences, and God wants to use those intelligences for the ministries and the leadership that we have. So we have to develop that. We have to understand that what makes Josh intelligent may not be something that I have. So I may be ignorant in an area of Josh's intelligence. Why is that important? Because when you have a group, someone in the group may not be smart in what you want them to be smart in, right? As a leader, I've got to find out what area of smarts they excel in and how to use those smarts for a common objective. Does that make sense? So there's a whole heap of different intelligences. So I'll just give you a list of them. First one is linguistic. All right, linguistic intelligence. Pastor Peter has a real gift in this area in the way of articulating things. I was going to say stuff, which is not very linguistic. He has this ability to order the English language to get something across. So if I'm upset with something, I will write an email to somebody, but I will always send it through to Pastor Peter first. If I'm disciplining another pastor in the state or looking at taking their credentials off them, and someone's like Graham, the state secretary, sends me an email, I will send it to Pastor Peter and say, Pete, and Peter will take this word out, that word's got a negative connotation. This word, if you put it before this, is more powerful than if you put it after this. he just reorders it and you read it and you go, oh, that's exactly what I wanted to say. How did you do that? That's an intelligence. Okay, so that's linguistic intelligence. The second one is a logical intelligence, the ability to use numbers and symbols. And we've all met those sort of people, right? The duxers in the school, they recall information, right? We need people like that. They make us sick, but we need them. All right. The next one is spatial. This is Sharon Talaya, right? Give her a cheap budget, give her an empty room, and she'll walk into beautiful houses and go, oh, this is so well done. You know why it's so well done? It's because that window with the light coming in, the way they actually built the house was around that blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, really? I thought it was good. Yeah, it looks good. I couldn't tell this one from that one. Sharon, a good example, being married to a spatially intelligent person, when we were trying to pick a wall color in our new house, spent 3 months working out between which off-white we should use. And so that included buying little tins of off-white and painting it onto a card that we had on our table. So at different times of day, the sunlight would change. And she would look at it and go, no, too much blue in that. Because there's no blue in that. There's blue in that. There's green. Can you see the yellow in that? No. Oh, yeah, there's too much yellow in that. I'm like, babe, whatever. Like, I don't know. It's just off-white, you know. But she picked, and then she picked her. And then every time she walks into that, she goes, oh, can you feel that? No. We made a right choice. Well, it took us 3 months. Okay, but that is a spatially intelligent person. And so to actually go to Sharon and get, because Sharon can't remember, not very good at like math sort of stuff, right? She's not very good at the academic stuff. She's had to work really hard at that. But she's, you know, she's not academically smart, whereas I'm a bit more academic than her with uni. She never finished, like did uni or anything like that. But for anyone to say that she's not super intelligent doesn't know her. Because I don't know anybody who can make something so beautiful out of not much. She can walk down the street and see people throwing out their rubbish in their verge and transform that into something that would cost thousands. She can go to the op shop. She can go to the op shop and she can look in a bag full of bags, like a box full of bags, and she can leave with a fashion brand that's worth $1,700 that she bought for $3. That's my one. That's a spatially intelligent person. All right. Sorry.
You said that in the first course when you have children. Sorry. You said she can take something that's not so. I'm terrible.
You're shocking. You're shocking. All right. So the next one is musical intelligence. Some of you, well, all of you in this room here, the ability to manipulate sound in a complex way, right? That's musical intelligence. Sorry, spatial intelligence is the ability to process information in 3 dimensions. The ability to process information in 3 dimensions. The linguistic was the ability to use language effectively. Logical, the ability to use numbers and symbols. Spatial, the ability to process information in 3 dimensions. And musical, the ability to manipulate sound in a complex way. Anyone need more info in that? Logical, the ability to use numbers and symbols. To use numbers and symbols. Cool. Then, of course, there's the bodily intelligence. We've just watched the Olympics. I don't know why they call it bodily. I would call it physical, but yeah, but they call it bodily intelligence, which is the ability to coordinate bodily movements, which we all do to some extent. But I think the intelligent part is to do things that are extreme or to set records, you know. And this one we talk about more, I guess, in leadership, is interpersonal intelligence, EQ, emotional intelligence, interpersonal. Okay? Interpersonal is the ability to understand human motivation and relationships. I'll give you an example. Banana, 10 a.m., Sunday, August, whatever, yes, 2 days ago was. Walk in there. This guy walks in, first time into church. He walks in, goes, I'm here. I'm here. Like this. I'm like, okay, interesting. So I go up to him. I go, hi, welcome to church. He goes, I'm going to bless you today. I'm like, okay. And what's your name? I'm the George Lai, I'm the senior pastor. Welcome to our church. Oh, senior pastor. I thought Jesus was the head of the church, right? So I'm like, you want to do this before we start the service? Let's do this. Number one, you're not here to bless us. We're here to bless you. You're here to receive today. You won't be having an opportunity to bless everybody. Getting you right into your perspective, because I don't want you to minister or scream out in the middle of the service and think, thus saith the Lord, or anything like that, because I will throw you out. Number two, I did say I was the senior pastor. I did not say I'm the head of the church. You are right. Christ is the head of the church, and we are all part of the body. Every single one of us are part of the priesthood of believers. But in Ephesians chapter 5, it does say that the body of Christ was also given as a gift, apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, evangelists, of whom I am one of them. And our goal is to equip the saints. So, as I said at the very start, I'm the senior pastor here. And so anyway, after the service, he's like, I feel I've got a gift to preach, And so I sat down with him and I said to him, how can I be honest with you? I don't want to hurt you. This is where you look at interpersonal skills, trying to look beyond their bad behavior, trying to look at the person. And I said to him, listen, I'll be honest with you. If you ever wanted to preach here at Centrepoint Church and you came with your attitude, you would never in 100 years ever preach, lead, pastor in our church. Number one, you don't come under any authority. You have no authority because you don't come under any authority. Number two, you're arrogant and very prideful, whereas Jesus was a servant-hearted leader, right? He goes, I'm not, I just like the truth. I said, sure. And how many people listen to you? I said, because the way you deliver the truth must be the way Jesus delivered the truth, in love. I don't know you. And within seconds, you came in here and you questioned whether I thought I was the head of it. Yeah, you just don't understand how many pastors, they start small in their own eyes and they become these big shots. And I said, but you don't even know me. I introduced my name to you before you judged my heart. Why would I ever listen to you? If you really cared about helping me, if you really cared about blessing me, if you really cared about correcting me, you should have come and washed my feet. You should have come and loved me, came into my life, consistency, built a relationship, right? Then, as a father in the faith, I may have come to you and say, hey, speak into my life and open the door for you to say, this is good, this is really great, this is really great, but this part here, I'm just a little bit worried. Then you would have been a blessing to me. You would have helped me. You would have helped this church. But the way you came immediately repulsed me. and I'm helping you here. So funny, right? Because he came this arrogant. Next thing you know, he's just this, just repentant. I'm so sorry. No one's ever told me that. No one's ever spoken into my life like that. And I said, what's more? And because my wife keeps saying the same thing to me, she doesn't want to go to church with me. You know, my 4 kids. And I said, don't tell me your 4 kids aren't following the Lord. Because how did you know? I said, if you use that sort of spirit and that sort of attitude trying to correct and teach your children, they would have walked away from the Lord as well. Yes, they have. So next thing I know, I'm coming back next week and I'm going to serve and I'm going to, right? So interpersonal skills is actually looking at the person and not being so offended straight away, but actually caring for the person enough to use wisdom, understanding circumstances and situations, understanding human motivation to build relationships. Okay, this is crucial. This is crucial. If you struggle with EQ, you will be struggling with building teams, being a part of a team, right? So this is something that we have to grow. All of these intelligences we can develop, but we must identify whether we are weak in them in the first place. I love what the Pastor Wayne was talking about. Maturity is not being invincible, but it's understanding your weaknesses and your flaws. That is maturity, right? When you do that, you can go, oh, I'm going to need help with this area. See, I actually grow when I realize I'm not as brilliant with linguistics as I thought I was. Oh, but I'm a pastor. I speak all the time. I got 82% in my ATAR for English. I was in the top 5% of the state. Peter's way better. And so when you can realize that, you go, I'm going to use his intelligence to make me look intelligent. I'm going to use Cheryl's spatial ability. I'm going to use Sam's musicality. You know, Sam and I, every week, we talk about worship. Whether it's, I'm preaching on this topic, I need songs. Can you think you can do this from that to that? Do you reckon we can just get Dan and Gloria to do a solo and record it online? I'm always bound to, because Sam has a really good grasp of musicality, right? You got to understand the relationships around you and use those intelligences, because that's how God has really wanted us to work as a team. The last intelligence I want to talk to you about is the intrapersonal. Intrapersonal. What's that about? Yes. The ability of self-understanding. So it's sort of like what we just talked about, right? When you are high in your intrapersonal, you understand when your soul's not doing well. You understand when you're insecure. You understand when you're getting jealous. You understand when you haven't slept, and that's why you're behaving the way, you know what I mean? You understand why you're not hearing from God all of a sudden. Self-awareness, right? It's not Lauren's fault. It's not Gloria's fault. It's my, what's going on in me that everything Josh says today is really bugging me. You know, and sometimes we, but you know those people, we all have people in our lives that say things like, you know, everything you say is really bugging me today. Well, the issue then is you. Everyone's really annoying me today. Well, one common denominator. Okay, every church.
Whoa, okay.
Every girl I've ever gone, every man only is interested in. Every, wow, what do you mean? So you go anywhere and you meet people and they react to you in a certain way and it's all of their fault. Wow, that's interesting. Any place you go to, yep, city, country, big church, small church. Wow. these people must really have issues, or common denominator is you. You are totally unaware. You're totally ignorant about your own intrapersonal state. All right, so really important that we develop all these intelligences if we are to become healthy, good leaders. How are some ways we can develop our intelligence? Let's just talk about the interpersonal. How do we develop our intelligence interpersonal? Now, for some people, it's more easy. It's more easily done, right? They've got intuition. Ladies generally are much better at interpersonal skills. Sharon can go in a room and go, "There's something not right with that person. They're going through a tough time," and I'm like, "No." Yes, fair enough. She was right. I was wrong. Okay, because there is a little bit more intuition. Girls can generally pick up even body language that some boys, guys, me, just don't pick it up. She sighed when she said that. Sighed. Maybe she just breathed out. We all breathe out, honey. Don't breathe everything. But true enough, it wasn't just a. It was like. There's no difference. Yes, there is. Just like those two off-white colors, there is a difference. Yeah, you know what I mean? And so it's just going, okay, so some girls, it's quite natural for them, but how can we develop that? Laurie, how do you develop your interpersonal skill? Is this a tough question? How do we start off by saying we need to?
Yes.
By acknowledging a need that we probably need to, if we want to become better leaders, we're going to have to improve our interpersonal intelligence. Yeah. I need to do this. I need to, not like I'm fine. That's not my weakness. Well, maybe it is. Maybe you don't know it, right? So, okay. That's right. Your interpersonal's way off. So your interpersonal's been way off as well, you know. But actually acknowledging that I'm going to constantly work at building how a better way of treating people and relationships around me. So that's number one. Okay. Obviously, interpersonal requires spending time with people. So actually being with people, but maybe we could develop our interpersonal intelligence by being around people we don't like.
Whoa.
You remain immature in your interpersonal intelligence when you safeguard yourself from the very kind of people that God has brought into your life to grow your interpersonal skills. That's why people leave churches instead of stay in churches. That's why people leave marriages. All these things are actually there to help you grow, to become better, to become bigger, more patient, more kind, more forgiving, more generous, more selfless. And we run away from those things so that we can stay small. But maybe to grow our interpersonal skills, I've got to be around that annoying one, that frustrating one. And I've been sitting with some of our staff and I'm going, look, we all get it, right? Every church is full of people, and there's a portion of those people who come to the church that you clash with. I'm the senior pastor of 1,000, and I've got them. Now, they may not know it, right? Because I smile, I shake their hands, because I'm not doing life with them on a closer. But there's some people that I go, oh, every time I talk to that person, it just bugs me. Oh, that person annoys me. That person's always whingy. That person's always negative. That person's always critical. That person's always whatever. We've all got them, right? But what we do is we protect ourselves from those very people that are meant to teach us how to deal with those people. Homework, literally, this is your homework. Now, you cannot tell this person that they are the person. Let's hang out for a couple. But here's the thing. Imagine if. Hey, maybe you're that person.
Oh.
Because we are. Whenever we do a freedom course and we talk about forgiveness, I always say, this is how you spell Chalaya, C-H-E, because they have to write down the names of people that they haven't forgiven. This is how you spell Chalaya. And I also add in there John Hardy, because John Hardy knows how to get people annoyed. So here's the thing. Wouldn't it be cool if you just go through the people that you have to work with, or the people that are, in your team that bug you? And then, I'm serious, I'm really serious about this, but no one can know. This is a secret homework. You don't tell us the names, we don't want to know. None of you tell each other, because that's not honoring. So what I want you to do is go through and find the most button pushing, as in for you, that person pushes my button, that person does annoy me a bit. Maybe it's not like angry, good, because you're much better than I am. But find the person that annoys you and give them a call. Hey, I don't want anything from you, just thinking about you. How's your week? What's been happening? Encourage them. Thank God for them. Share some good news with them, and then hang up the phone. Can we do that? Listen to them, hear them.
Okay, yeah, cool.
No, just like, hi, it's Josh here. I want you to know you're awesome. I love you. God, bye. No, that would be bad interpersonal skills. Okay. All right. So what do we do in those moments when we're talking to them? Instead of going, oh, hurry up, get on with it. Here we go again. Here they're doing that thing. I want you to tell yourself, I'm growing as a leader. Focus on what they're saying. Focus on what their heart's cry is. Focus on how much God loves them. What's best for them? What can I do to serve them? How can I bless them today? Do that, and then end the conversation. This is so free. This is so good. This is so good for you. It's horrible, but it's so good. Right? Practice this. And I'm telling you, God will bless you. God will bless them. And who knows, that very annoying person might end up being the best part of your team. Because I've seen that time and time again. Some of our people in our team now, and even on our staff, I've sat in other organizations. I have stepped down. I have had to tell them off in other churches, right? So when their church closes, moves on, whatever, the last church you would think they would ever go to is Centrepoint Church, because Joel Chalaya sacked me, stepped us down, told us off, rebuked us, stay present, whatever. And they're in our church. A number of them, when they came the first time, I'm like, oh, like this, right? Literally. No, go back. Senior pastor, hey, how you doing? Great to see you. And I'm like, they didn't want to come. They even told me they didn't want to come and be with us. We didn't want them to be here. I even offered one, hey, Nations Maya Reed, just down the road. I'm not joking. They go, okay, we'll check it out next week. They went. Third week, they came back. Why bring the message God told us to be here? Oh, this is going to be hard. Build relationship. Now, some of them are key, pivotal parts of our church leadership team. You would never, ever be able to say there was a fraction between us, So I just want to encourage you, grow. You can grow in this area. We must. Not can, we must. You don't want to be the person or the leader that only has all their good friends around them and everyone else is the second tier. You may have seen that before. They've got all their cool kid friends and then there's us. Well, how about you make sure you don't reproduce exactly what you hate so much and you actually go, all of you, the ones I love and get along with easily, the ones I love and don't get along with easily, I can still lead you. I can still help you. I can still serve you. You know. Questions, thoughts? You don't look happy about this. I would love to now. This is homework. So you have 1 week. You are not to tell us the name of that person because they're all precious to God and we don't want to talk about people behind their back. But I'd love for you to give me some, what was going on in you? How did the conversation go? What did you learn? How did you, you know, how you go into the conversation is important. So prepare yourself. All right, don't go in there all guarded and oh, this is going to be horrible. I have to do it. No, no, no. You're already shooting yourself in the foot. But go in there, hands open. Here to serve you. Here to love you. What can I do? How's things? Cool. Question, thoughts, Lauren? What's going on in your head? Okay.
I've got some people for you.
Are you saying
I've
there's
got a
no
whole
one
list.
that
You can
annoys
all
you
pick
when you
up
work
the
with them?
Personally, the situation may annoy me, but the person doesn't. But I have had these in the past when we volunteered for some jobs.
Sure.
Craig and I had one particular girl who, for some stupid, like I know her basis to the reason, and it really was her basis. But to her, something happened, and it just, she wrote us off, but she was out for like revenge community.
Yeah, yeah.
And this went on for 2 years to the point where the things that she was saying to our community paramedic, even he said to her at one point, "I can't talk about them. They're actually my friends as well. Why are you talking to me about this?" And Craig's been chair of the committee. I was on the committee, and several times Craig was just ready to go in, and I just said, "We can't do that." I said, "We have to keep working with her, and you just have to show that Christian side of us." That right? She was Catholic.
Yeah, yeah. Nasty.
but
Not the Catholic,
not-
but as in.
Like to the point where she was threatening her husband to deal with Craig and stuff as well.
Yeah.
And the language she used around us was awful. And so anytime she was around, it was really difficult.
Wow.
And you had to learn to still encourage her. I still had to call her and ask her for help on things. I still had to foster her onto things. We still had to lead
Yeah.
even amongst that.
And
And
what-
it was not easy.
Well, that's probably where you've gone through a real growth
Yeah.
in this
absolutely.
area where you sort of die to yourself.
And there's days where you just want to let it have it.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually not beneficial to the whole.
That's
The
right.
issue is not you.
That's right.
The issue is actually there with them because you've done what you can. to fix
Yeah.
that. 'Cause we looked at it and gone, what did we do? And there was one thing that was wrong,
Yeah.
but it actually wasn't wrong. Our child was at the house, Craig stepped in. They had a meltdown about being there when they were in bed asleep, which was 10:30 at night. They had our 9-year-old children still up at 10:30 at night without adult supervision. So we were
Right.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
so it was literally just stemmed from that. And Craig just went, okay, I don't really know what to do. This is really awkward.
Yeah.
And apparently they was. So yeah, and then it was just hell after that. Yeah. So literally just
Well,
had
if,
to
yeah.
continue to hold ourselves together, knowing that we've done everything that we could to make it right.
That's right.
Try to have a conversation. That made it worse.
Yeah. And so I guess the question is, if that person moved to Centrepoint Church, Bibra Lake, and joined the worship team,
Like treated the exact same person there.
yeah,
Just continue that way
that's right.
because that's who we are as Christians.
And-
I feel like you, but really you.
Why?
Catholic church
Why?
somewhere, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Let me Google it.
There's so many churches. Let me help you move. And I guess the question is, and this is the bit that I guess is the challenge that I'm challenging some of our staff on. You can put up with them even. Like, so maybe they're not going to move, so they're here or that, yeah. You can even put up with them. Hi, how you doing? But can you make them your best asset? The Bible talks about David in the cave, and these mighty men came to him, right? They were disgruntled, debt-ridden, the worst of the worst. The community had rejected them. But what he did is he didn't just put up with them coming to him. Oh, we've got to put up with them because we need some military help and muscles. Yes, we'll just put up with it. But he transformed them into mighty men. The same people that came to him 6 months, 1 year, 2 years later are warriors, champions, so for him. So he was able, with his leadership, to take these disgruntled pain in the bums to mighty men. Do you have the leadership ability to work with those really annoying people that God's bringing to you to make them your greatest pillars in the house? Well, that's the question. That is somebody with a good level of interpersonal intelligence. Joshua, thoughts, concerns, questions? And if you take me out for coffee this week, you'll get a slap.
Or maybe.
I'll just do the call.
Hey PJ, how are you, PJ? Just hope you're having a great day. Oh, I'll slap you, Joshua. I'll come down that phone and I will slap you.
Just proving
Yeah,
exactly why
that's
I'm right now.
Thoughts?
No,
Okay, that's cool. That's all right. Gloria, thoughts?
That's very challenging for me.
Okay.
I know that I tend to react to people's attitudes, and your situation with that banana, I would found that very challenging to hide how that made me feel. So that's definitely something that I work on, and I've made some good notes about that. But I do have a good, have had an experience of working in a church team context. One person who had anger issues would always fly up and handle very patient, wasn't respectful towards the pastors, and for months we just, wrote him off and tried to avoid him. But then made a conscious effort to see the good aspects about him, like his commitment to church, trying to encourage him and thank him for that. And he just changed.
Yeah.
Just changed, and that was a good time where I learned not just react to someone how they say it to you and just go home and pray that they change, but
Yeah.
never really take the time to
Build them into who God's called them to be.
yeah.
And I guess the question is, if somebody comes in and tells you they're the king of the world, start questioning your authority, it's not just interpersonal, but it's intrapersonal. I have two options. I could have gotten angry and just completely cut him off, rather than actually after the end. So that was in the morning. This is after we had done the service. We had welcome to church. Welcome to church finished. I'm walking out. I've got to come back to 4 o'clock service here. And he goes, Pastor, can I have a minute of your time? And so I sat with him for 50 minutes.
Wow.
Right? So immediately showing him, I actually love you. Right? Then halfway during that time, he said, yeah, I'm called to preach at churches. Then I actually put my hand, because he had his hand on the table and talking to me, and I actually put my hand on his hand. Just gave him a quick tap and said, listen, you're a good man. you do love God passionately. And I actually really can see your love for the word of God, extremely passionate. And then I said, so that doesn't disqualify the fact what you're feeling. I'm called to be a preacher, I'm the word, I love God. Your whole attitude, your whole language, your whole behavior, bang, 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 kept my tone low, just spoke to him, and he just sat there and he just sat there. And no, I never. I said, well, do you remember what you said to me as soon as you walked in? Oh, yeah. I'm not arrogant or judgmental. I'm not arrogant. Really? So when you said to me, you know, I thought that Jesus was that wasn't judgmental. Not only did you completely mishear what I said, you already made a decision about my leadership, challenging me. So you think I don't know Christ is the head of the church? Were you expecting the best from me or the worst from me? So just we went on and on and on. How could you have helped me? So we went through that, and then he sees it, you know, so he's got Heidi's number down. He's, I want to come to this church. I'm going to bring my wife. We will see how it goes, right? It's not complete.
I didn't run away.
Heidi goes, thanks so much. She goes, what did you say to him? Because she met him before, and then she met him after I'd spoken to him, right? And she goes, he's repenting and apologizing, his attitude. He goes, what did you say? I just addressed it with great love. I just said to him, I'm so sorry, you would never preach here. Not because you're not a good preacher, I don't even know you. But it's that attitude, you know. So we talked about some attitude stuff there. But, you know, he could have, if I got angry with him or insecure, it would be an intrapersonal issue. But this person could shake my foundation. Who are you, right? But the thing is, we've got to make sure, okay, once this side is good, I can now deal with that side, with that relationship. Michaela, closing comments from you? Anything at all?
Yeah, I was just thinking about mine. I know that sometimes I can, like, if something offends me or something, I'm very good at being silent about it. But like you were saying about being straightforward with him and being very honest, I think I definitely need to work on that. So that's what I'll be focusing on in my homework, bringing stuff up.
All right. Well, 1 week's time, we'll see how we go with our extra grace required people, EGRs. All right. Bless you guys. Thank you so much for your time.